saffron. Now, I have to say, this is something that I don't use very often in cooking. Well, actually, I'm not sure that I've ever used saffron in cooking because it's so darn expensive. But where does it show up in the Bible?
It's in the Song of Solomon in chapter 4, and the verse is beautiful. You are like a lovely orchard bearing precious fruit with the rarest of perfumes, nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon. So all those fragrant ingredients and rhizomes. Yes, it's really a lovely, lovely passage. And when you said it's expensive, it's a real exotic spice. No, I don't know that anybody uses it mainstream, but during Bible days, the interesting thing was they used it sort of like we do today in cakes and to color and flavor whole grains. And then I found this out, didn't know this, that the Buddhist priests dyed their robes with saffron, making them a brilliant, brilliant yellow.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's as I said, we use it still in rice and grains and soups. Bouillabaisse is a real famous recipe using saffron. Today I'm going to be sharing in a minute a recipe for Spanish bean soup. And it uses leftover ham, so it's a good thing for this time of year. Yes.
But why is it that saffron is so expensive?
Well, here's the thing. It's known as the most expensive spice. It flowers in about the middle of fall, and it has to be hand-picked, Annie, in the morning, because as the day goes on, the whole flower wilts, and so do the stigmas or those little colored threads that we know as saffron wilt also. And here's the thing. It takes about 4,000 to 5,000 flowers to make 1 ounce of dried saffron thread.
What?
So, yes,
wow.
That is the reason, and it's hand-picked, too. I bought saffron, and it'll say 100% Spanish saffron, and then when I test it in a little bit of water, some of the strands turn white, and it's a lovely color and a nice aroma, and it has sort of a bitter flavor. If you get the real deal, keep it in the freezer. It's expensive, and it's not a mainstream ingredient, but it's used a lot in Spanish bean dishes.
Yeah.
And Spanish saffron is known as one of the best. So if you happen to buy some, buy a small amount, keep it in the freezer, and then use it in something like the recipe for Spanish bean soup that we're sharing today.
Nice.
And in this recipe for the Spanish bean soup, if you don't happen to have saffron, it will still be delicious because you're going to put some paprika in there as well.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, take us through the recipe here, Rita.
Okay, just real quick, and I'll have the whole recipe on my site. You're going to take some garbanzo beans. Now, you can do fresh or canned, whichever. And if you use the fresh, you're going to soak them overnight, and then you're going to start cooking them in some chicken broth. So basically, you're going to cook the beans in some chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want. And if you got a ham bone, throw that in. And while that's cooking, you're going to saute some onion and maybe a bit of garlic and some olive oil. And then you're just going to add the onion, some chopped leftover ham, potatoes, a little saffron, and paprika if you've got it. All to that pot. You're just going to cook that until the potatoes are done. You're going to add some chorizo, the Spanish sausage, if you have it, also known as Mexican sausage. So it's just a wonderful soup with beans and leftover ham. It's just delicious and a little bit different with the paprika and the saffron. So I hope everyone tries it.